Well, good morning. How are you? Oh, once again, it's good to be with you because it's a beautiful day in a neighborhood. Such a beautiful day in a neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? What? You guys don't like Mr. Rogers? I mean, and what's there not to like about Mr. Rogers? That was a cool dude. I had friends whose parents would not let them watch Mr. Rogers. Like, I had a dude who's trying to watch Mr. Rogers and his father beat him up. I never knew what the problem was. Mr. Rogers was cool. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to Black Dragon Biker TV, the Black Dragon Biker News Network, biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Trevor Drake calls it the We MC crew. Because the Motorcycle Club is not about I, it's about we. So stop saying mine, 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 my, I, and me, and start saying we. If this is your first time joining us, we are on Monday through Friday. Every now and then we take a Saturday off. And then we're on Sunday nights with the Black Dragon Biker Roundtable. And we'd like for you guys to like, follow, and share and subscribe. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitch. Although we're not good Twitchers. We're just there. So like, share, and subscribe. Follow us. Hang out with us. We would most appreciate it. Yeah, good stuff. So what is this feedback business going on here? We're feeding back like crazy here. Do you guys hear it? I hear it every time I say something. Feedback. Okay, I tell you what. We'll go to these. Yeah, maybe these won't be feeding back. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Today's story. So we were just talking about Australia yesterday and, picking on those guys. Talking about the craziness that's going on over on their set. But it's hard to throw stones when you live in a glass country. So over here in Atlanta, one of my viewers sent me this. And this happened, I don't know. The story came out about, 18 hours ago or so. And it was posted August August 29th, yesterday at 10:52 a.m. The story was posted, and they updated it at 5:18 a.m. this morning. Boy, they be getting up over there, down there at the what is this called? The WFLA news down there in Pinellas, or it might be Pinellas County, Florida. Pinellas County Sheriff to discuss murder involving a Tampa Bay biker gang. Wow. So this one is kind of this one's kind of interesting. This is big. This is big news down there, and on this one, we're just gonna let the sheriff talk because he did a big old long video, and instead of in this, there's so many moving pieces to this story that I've done this before. I've spoken on these stories and been told, hey man, you don't even know what you're talking about. None of what you said was just true. So a lot of times I just if they can talk, I'll let them talk. But anyway, the sheriff said a man was executed execution style. He was killed execution style by a Tampa Bay area biker gang. This is what the sheriff said. So Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. These names, you guys know these names be getting me. Announced Monday that a man was indicted Friday in a gang-related murder in Palm Harbor. The sheriff says that Paul, and he'll say his name in the video, but I'm going to attempt it right here. Mogilevsky, 48 of Pinellas Park, was charged in the death of 46-year-old Dominick Paternoster, who was killed on April 27, 2022, just a few months ago, at his own house on Dunbridge Drive. Now, some of the sad parts about this, or an interesting part, is that the sheriff said he was killed because folks thought that he was a snitch. Now, I can tell you this, man, in the any lifestyle where you're dealing with folks, this idea of being a snitch, a lot of times you ain't even got to be a snitch. That's why somebody will hurt you just for calling them a switch. Hey, what's up, Ed? I see you live, man. Sometimes folks will hurt you for even suggesting that they are a snitch, because being a snitch, being accused of being a snitch, being thought of as being a snitch, it is tantamount to death in many instances, in many societies. You guys know that Tia comes from Chicago. You can't get her to stop and witness something. She ain't even fixing to. She'll just turn her head and go the other way. Whereas I'm from Oklahoma, where you call the police. I'm the farm community and stuff. Everybody goes to bed at 8:30. You call the sheriff out if you got a problem. When something's happening to a neighbor, you just be all eyes. You're trying to see as much as you can see. You're just trying to see. It depends where you come. When I moved to high school, went to high school in Los Angeles, people were like, boy, country bumpkin, boy, hell no. I moved to Los Angeles in the middle of the Crip Blood War in the 80s. I think I moved there in 77. No, was it 81? Something like that. 77. I think I moved there in 77. 81. Maybe in 81. Right in the middle, I saw a whole generation of men die. And you didn't run your mouth. So being called something like that is tantamount to being killed. The sheriff said Paternoster was not only killed, he was executed. Right here. Paternoster was not just killed, he was executed. He was shot several times, including in the head. The sheriff said that he was killed. According to the sheriff, more than one gun was used to kill Paternoster, leading authorities to believe there were multiple suspects responsible for his death. Mogilevsky was just one of the first to be arrested. In this case, the sheriff promised more arrests, just like yesterday when we did that story about the constable. I think it's a constable. I don't know what you call them over there in Australia. The constable said, "We know who they are. We know where they went. We promise you we're going to get them back here." So he says there's more and he's going to get them. Anyway, another thing he said, and he goes into great detail to explain his take on biker clubs. He says that the suspect and the victims were members of two motorcycle clubs. And he talks about the relationship between a support club and a dominant club. And we talked about that a few days ago. We did a video called Cops Hate Support Clubs. Remember that? So a lot of it that we talked about was, we talked about how if you're in a support club, how do cops see you? So for a lot of clubs that are told, hey, you can't patch up unless you become a support club, what does that mean? How are you viewed? And so this police officer, this sheriff, puts it in very plain terms, the feeling of the cops toward support clubs. So listen to that, so that you have a good feeling of where you are. Joe Campaign, what city are you in where it's going to be 109 today? That's crazy. The next thing I want you to listen to is he talks about this. He goes also to explain his take on 1% clubs. And this is where we talk about the media, how clubs are seen. So they're getting smarter on how they address clubs, because everybody gets upset because cops call clubs gangs all the time. So he has gone out of his way to explain the difference, so that they're now beginning to educate the public more. Gualtieri said the suspect and the victims were both involved in gangs, one a support club, one a dominant club. The sheriff said the organizations operate publicly as motorcycle clubs, but the two organizations were known as 1%ers, motorcycle clubs that engage in illegal activity. Interesting. He says they are not clubs, they are thugs. So listen to him on that, how the conversation is now beginning to understand the nuances in motorcycle clubs and how they take their time to explain it. So we're going to now cut to the sheriff. Let's get me out of here. There we go. And we're going to listen to what he has to say as he said it live, and we'll let him speak for himself. Whoa.
Breaking news from Mall of Georgia Ford.
No, they didn't do that to me. I had queued this up and everything. These guys are so good. Okay, here we go.
This past Friday, August 26th, a Pinellas County grand jury returned a indictment charging Paul Mogilevsky with first-degree murder. Mogilevsky is currently being held in the Pinellas County Jail with no bond. This charge stems from the April 27th, 2022 murder of Dominick Paternoster And that murder occurred at his residence of 104 Dunbridge Drive in Palm Harbor. Paternoster's date of birth is 12/11/75. Paternoster was not just killed, he was executed. He was shot several times, including a gunshot to the head. More than one gun was used to kill Paternoster. I'm going to explain what happened and provide a little bit more information than probably what we ordinarily do, because this is really organized crime that's operating here in Pinellas County and in the.
So what he's going to do, he says he's going to provide more information than what he normally does. What he's going to do is go into great detail here to explain the law enforcement take on motorcycle clubs, motorcycle gangs, and support clubs, that sort of thing. So he's understanding he wants to bring the public up to a certain view, and it's very sophisticated in the way that he's doing this. So just keep your eyes open, ears open.
In the Tampa Bay area that involves a national motorcycle gang. Nonetheless, it is still an active and ongoing investigation, so there is some information that can't be released. We know more than one person shot and killed Dominick Paternoster, and while Mogilevsky is the only one that's in custody at this time, he won't be the last person arrested in this case. More arrests will be made. Mogilevsky and Paternoster were both members of motorcycle gangs, or as they like to call themselves, motorcycle clubs. But that's nonsense, because they are not clubs, they're thugs. Thugs who commit crimes and kill people who they think cross them. Members of these motorcycle gangs are not kids. As you can see from the photographs here, both Paternoster and Mogilevsky are in their mid-40s, as are many of their criminal associates that are involved in this gang activity. Mogilevsky belongs to the Mongols, and Paternoster belonged to the Raiders. The Raiders are a lower level gang or motorcycle club that's a feeder membership group into the Mongols. Both gangs share a clubhouse in Tampa. The Mongols are a national group. They were founded and they are currently based in California. They're a criminal racketeering organization, and they are organized crime really in its truest sense. A symbol of these motorcycle gangs is their notorious motorcycle jacket with what the club calls colors, as they're called. And that's one that's here to my right and to your left. Members have to go through a significant initiation in order to be able to wear these colors. We seized this jacket during the execution of a search warrant.
So if you wonder why folks say that if you get your colors taken, you'll never see them again, well, now you see it right there. For my listening audience, they have the colors of the club on full display. This is why you don't get your colors back. One time I was pulled over and I was arrested for speeding, which I was absolutely killing it. And the officer told me, because he liked me, I guess, I didn't put up a struggle. And he told me to take my colors off and put them in my motorcycle. And he said to me, and this was a Henry County, Georgia police officer. He said, if we get your colors, they won't be respected and you probably will most likely never see them. And this is why you're never going to see them again, because they're going to be sitting up in display for the world to see as a trophy for being captured. But this is what can happen. And this is why folks say you're not going to get them back. You can see why right there.
The Mongols have a strong presence here in the Tampa Bay area. They are what are referred to as one percenters. They, like the Outlaws, Hells Angels, and other organized criminals who ride motorcycles and sell drugs, they traffic in guns and they engage in human trafficking and prostitution. So these are, again, in the truest sense, criminal organizations, true organized crime that exist to do bad things to others. They're very, very different from everyday people who simply enjoy riding motorcycles on weekends and belong to true social motorcycle clubs. They aren't the people, these people are not the people that you see out on a Sunday afternoon motorcycle ride. These criminal biker organizations are called one percenters because they are 1% of the people who ride motorcycles and self-identify as a motorcycle club when they are really this gang of thugs who terrorize and commit crime. There are several of these 1% motorcycle gangs that operate in the Tampa Bay area, including, as I've mentioned, the Mongols, the Outlaws, Black Pistons, Infidels, Originals, Cobras, and Raiders. Now, they generally commit their crime to further and to maintain their organizations and doing things like I just mentioned about selling drugs, forcing women into prostitution. They usually don't target or harm average everyday people. It's usually what happens within these organizations or among the organizations. Most of their violent crime occurs against rival groups or due to internal gang issues. And that's exactly what happened in this case. That's what happened with this murder. Mogilevsky and another person killed Paternoster because they believed Paternoster was cooperating with law enforcement to provide law enforcement with information about this motorcycle gang activity and that he was, quote, a snitch. In fact, they did what organized crime groups do when they kill people who they think are cooperating with the police. They shot Paternoster very dead by shooting him many times, including shooting him in the head. Now, you want to talk about cooperation? Mogilevsky admitted to detectives that he was with Paternoster on the night of the murder at the Mongols clubhouse. Mogilevsky also admitted that he and another person were with Paternoster at Paternoster's residence at the time Paternoster was executed. Mogilevsky admissions are corroborated by video evidence from the area, and we have witnesses who put Mogilevsky and others at the scene of the murder during the time that it occurred. The Sheriff's Office Forensic Sciences Division also collected extensive physical evidence from the scene, and we served several search warrants to obtain evidence supporting the first-degree murder indictment. We know that after Mogilevsky and the other person shot and killed Paternoster, they disposed of evidence in Tampa Bay, and our dive team was used to find the evidence. These motorcycle gangs have been around for decades, but there must be accountability when they execute each other, and this investigation is far from over. We will be serving additional search warrants, and there will be additional arrests made. So that gives you an overview of what happened. Most people are unaware of the extent to which these motorcycle gangs engage in criminal activity throughout the Bay Area. As I said, most of the time it's against each other or violence within the organizations, and that's what happened here. But they're alive and well, and they are existing throughout the Tampa Bay area. And this is what happens when they engage in that internal violence and somebody is killed. But there has to be justice done, and there has to be accountability, and we're committed to it. As I said, this is far from over. There will be additional arrests made. There's a lot of evidence, and a lot of information is forthcoming. So again, most of the public's probably not aware of this, and I thought it's important that people are aware as to what's going on in the community. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have.
How tough does it become to police a group like this when, I mean, without getting into how you guys do your job, if this is how they treated someone they believe was an informant, how tough does it make it for you to actually, an informant say, well, do what you want to do and find out what they're doing without putting people at risk?
It is hard, and extremely difficult because of what they do, and they retaliate. And you can see here is that this is a classic example, again, of true organized crime and retaliation by organized crime because they executed him. And they shot him a whole bunch of times, about as dead as you can get, and shot him in the head. And they're sending a message when they do that. So, but they don't have a license. They can't just go out and do this, and we will hold them accountable. And their actions, in this case and others, that where they're trying to scare people and they're trying to send that message, is that we're not going to let that happen.
How do you protect the other people who are working with you now?
Well, I'm not going to get into all the details of all that. Obviously, we got a lot of information from a lot of different sources, a lot of things going on, and a lot of physical evidence in this case, a lot of scientific evidence. There's a lot of video, as I said, but we've got our ways. And most of the time, again, they keep this stuff internal, and they're really not going after the general public with it. But it's still a very serious crime.
You say this gang is based out of California. How large is it here in the Tampa Bay area?
So they have a clubhouse over in Tampa. It's certainly in the double digits. It's not hundreds. They have probably, in the big scheme of things, as the chapters, as they call them, that operate throughout the country. It's probably one of the smaller chapters, but it still has a pretty good footprint here in the Tampa Bay area, and they have a presence. They are around, and they are engaging in criminal activity. Like I said, a lot of it is drug dealing that facilitates the criminal enterprise, human trafficking with prostitution, gun trafficking, and a lot of assaults toward each other primarily. So they're around.
If you believe that the smaller group that he was part of,
Mhm.
do you anticipate any kind of prevention?
Well, that's, if you remember a few years ago, they had one up in Pasco County on US 19, where it was one of the groups retaliating against another group. And that's what these people do. So, would it surprise me? No, I wouldn't be surprised by it. It's the nature of it, and they're notorious for it. As most people are aware of, and they just don't think it's happening here, is that these motorcycle gangs have been around for a very long time. I mean, the infamous ones are the Outlaws, the Hells Angels, and some of those that people hear about. But this isn't just something that you see in the movies or read about happening in California or in other places. It's alive and well here. And of course, they had that situation up in Pasco. The media reported on it. This is not anything that's on the public record. Is that back in February, there was, based on a murder that happened in Colorado, is they arrested another person out of that same Mongols clubhouse in Tampa back in February of this year. So again, it's all people fighting. As I said in my remarks, it's either they're fighting among themselves within their specific groups and taking somebody out for what they think they did or what they did or whatever that case may be, or it's retaliation between the clubs. And that's primarily what they do.
Does this guy think he's going to get away with it and all the other people are doing it? I mean, did they do this knowing that they're probably going to be caught?
No, I don't think so. I think they think they're going to get away with it. I think that they think they're Teflon to a degree, and that they can just do whatever they want, and they can wreak havoc, and they can kill people, and they can retaliate, and it's the way they've always operated, and they've operated for a long time, but they can't. And as I said, there's more arrests coming. There's more search warrants that are going to get served, and we know that he didn't do it by himself.
So is he working with you guys, or do you know how many more arrests are coming? Or
I'm going to leave it with what I said.
Are you able to, though, work up the chain? I mean, somebody had to make the call, right? This needs to happen. Can you guys go up the ladder?
Absolutely, and all the way up. I mean, one of the things you find with these motorcycle gangs is that they really do have structure. A lot of times we talk about street gangs, and we talk about, and again, remember, these people are not, this isn't 15, 16, 17-year-olds, with street gangs. These are people in their 40s and 50s and et cetera, and they have structure and they have organization and they report to others. That's how these things work. So to the extent that we can, and again, got to be careful not getting into too much, but if somebody directed this, if somebody ordered this, then there will be accountability for it. And one of the things I guess we all learn as we go through life is that what goes around comes around, and it all comes out at the end. And these people think they can just run around in their own little tight circle and doing what they do, including kill people, and that they're going to do it with impunity. Yeah, wrong answer. It ain't going to happen here.
Here, you see this gang is meeting at that location in Tampa. They have these vests. Are they in hiding, or it seems like they're pretty public?
They're pretty public about it. And they're pretty brazen about it. And that is a problem too, as they engage in their activity. Is that I'm not going to identify it, but you all can find it. Their clubhouse is in Tampa. In fact, the media's already reported on previously on where their clubhouse is out of that arrest they made back in February. That was reported by the media. So they're pretty open about it. And again, these are the 1%ers. Now, don't mistake this and these colors for people you see riding around on a Sunday afternoon that have a motorcycle jacket out that are out for a ride as those traditional clubs. That's not these people. Very different, but they're very open about it. And it takes a lot to get those colors. They have to go through a lot of initiation, and for most of it, they have to engage in a lot of criminal activity in order to get this.
So people on the highway be concerned if we see someone passing by with one of these vests?
Well, I'd be concerned about all these people. Not just anybody wearing any vest. And that's what I want to be careful about, because not everybody that's riding a motorcycle that wears a vest is a bad person. Some of them are us, but the Mongols, yeah, I'd be concerned. I'd be concerned about it. But again, as I said, more times than not, I guess what I'd be most concerned about is you end up in the middle of some crossfire situation. Because more times than not, to the average public, they're going to leave you alone. They don't have any beef. They have beef with each other, and they have beef among their groups, and that's what you end up with. Just like that, what happened up in Pasco, a few years ago, where the guy was stopped at a stoplight up there on US 19, and the guy drove up beside him and shot and killed him. And it wasn't that long ago. The state attorney's office just finished prosecuting that case not too long ago. So,
building on that, what you talked about, do a lot of these folks have like regular day jobs they do? And generally, there were some stories years ago where firefighters and other public servants feel kind of be part of these things as well.
some do. Most of them don't. Most of them sell drugs, engage in illegal activity. That's how they're making their money. And so same thing with these guys. And Paternoster, he was a drug dealer, and we see some drugs out of the house. He wasn't working. He was a drug dealer. Some do, but most of them are just engaged in criminal activity. God forbid they actually go and get a real job and make a living the honest way, but they just want to engage in this terror is what they do. I'm not getting into who's what about anything.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Raiders? How big are they compared to the Mongols?
So they're a feeder organization. They're smaller. They share the same clubhouse over in Tampa. So, it's kind of like, my analogy, maybe nobody else's, but mine, it's kind of like minor league and major league baseball, is that they have their farm system. And so you can get in at different levels, and then you can work your way up, and you go through the initiation process. So it's kind of how it works with some of these. The Outlaws have their feeder organizations. The Outlaws have a clubhouse here in Pinellas County. And then they have the smaller organizations that are feeders into the larger ones. Yep.
Is this the kind of situation that would kind of put heat on the Mongols as a whole between Pinellas and Hillsborough to kind of shut down the whole organization or that whole chapter?
I don't see these people ever shutting down. They've been at it for so long, and they've been around for so long, and they think that they can't get caught. They think that nothing's ever going to happen to them. So, I know that we, have an obligation, not just to have charged him, but to charge everybody that was involved in this thing. And even though he was involved in this activity and he was involved in criminal activity himself, is that we still owe it to him to bring people to justice that executed him. And as I said, there's more people out there, and their days come.
Something like this happens, but you guys on alert more for this kind of activity, or is it just kind of a random?
No, I very concerned about it, and have been. And now that we made an arrest and the indictment was returned on Friday and the investigation's ongoing, I am concerned that we'll see some additional violence because of it. I can't control it, but I am concerned about it because that's how they operate. That's how they act. And, they do retaliate, and they're trying to shut things down and shut people down and take things into their own hands. So no, that's a valid concern. Nothing I can control, but it is a concern. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Some interesting things about his interview is he did he call that guy a snitch? Did he say that guy was working with him, or did he just try to infer that? And, that's weird because, not weird, but that's interesting because, they do engage in subterfuge. You could get up there and call that guy a snitch and to try to see what you can make happen. And that guy ain't snitching at all. you never know. The other thing is, he did more explain. He did more to explain the culture than I've seen to responsibly explain the culture. And I was wondering why he was doing that. I was like, why is he making sure to let everybody know that not everybody wearing a vest is a bad person? Because you don't often see them do that. But it became evident. He wanted to also protect his fellow law enforcement that he knows are in biker clubs, because he said some of those guys are us. So don't just don't paint us all with the same brush, because some of those guys wearing colors out there riding with a vest on are us. So I thought that was interesting. I'll borrow Villegas said it. He said, because a ton of cops wear vests in LE clubs. Yep. So at first I was kind of like, oh, he's being good to us. But no, he's, looking out after the LEs as well. So this is an interesting development that's all over the news right now, and they're gonna do what they do to see what they can do to. But I was glad to see that there's a few things he did say. He said that it's kind of interesting. They mostly, bike clubs that have issues mostly deal with the issues, but either inside the club or between themselves. The general public doesn't have anything to be afraid of. And then someone says, well, should you be afraid? And then he says, absolutely, especially of certain clubs. So it's there was just I don't know. You guys saw what you saw. But they are going to definitely be down there doing what they do. So I just thought I'd bring that to you. There's not a whole lot for, I just let since it's all on video and stuff, I just let them do the talking, and you guys can do the looking on the video. All right, next story up. But we got issues in America, just like they, I hate for people to think, man, he only talks about Australia. No, we got stuff happening here too. Here's a new story. This one's interesting. We have a biker candidate, and we've seen this before. Like there was that booze fighter who ran for office and won a couple years ago. So here we have a biker candidate seeks to oust Sununu in a primary. So I guess he's going to be running for the New Hampshire primary. His name is Jay Lewis. He's a biker. Describes himself as the only biker running for governor in the 2022 New Hampshire primary. Hey, he's running for governor, the big job. This is in Conway. Jay Lewis believes his and his fellow Granite Staters' rights are being infringed upon. It's the chief reason he's running for governor. Hey, look here, man. Listen. If you feel, I get so tired of people always complaining and moaning and groaning. And here we have a guy that's going to do something about it. He's going to do something about it. Somebody said, let me go back to the last story for a minute. Somebody said he went from gang to gang to not back to gang to gang. He was trying very hard to illustrate what he thought a gang was and what law enforcement sees gangs are. And, we say they do that in these stories all the time. But this is one of the first times I've seen a law enforcement person try to draw a distinction. I haven't seen that before. I thought that was different, very different. Okay, back to this story here. So Conway J. Lewis believes that the rights of him and his fellow Granite Staters are being infringed upon. And I am so pleased to see someone actually try to do something about it. You guys always bitch and moan and complain. I want to see more bikers run for office. He says the only way to fix things is to become, sorry about that, folks. He said the only way to fix things is to become boss, he said during an editorial board at the Sun on Sunday on August 19th. Lewis, who is 64 years old, of New Hampton, is one of 6 Republicans seeking to be the party's nominee. Others are incumbent Governor Chris Sununu of Newfields, Julian Achard of Derry, Richard McMenamin. I feel like phonetics for grade school here. Anyway, Richard McMenamin, I know I didn't do that right. The second of Gilmanton Ironworks. Is that a place? Gilmanton Ironworks? Thomas Riley of Brentwood and Karen Testerman of Franklin. And if you think I have a hard time pronouncing Australian places, just try Gilmanton of Ironworks, Mr. McMenamin. Tom Sherman of Rye is opposed on the Democratic ticket. That's probably because poor Democrats ain't fixing to win over there. Lewis describes himself as the only biker running for governor. Yeah, but we did have the wrestler guy for a while. He was a cool governor, and then he started on the UFO thing, which leads me to believe that there are UFOs now. If the governor, what was that guy's name? He was a biker, and wasn't he a former biker club member? What was that governor's name? The cool governor that used to be a wrestler. I think he had like a dimple in his chin. Anyway, you guys know. Jesse Ventura. There you go. My people know everything. Jesse Ventura. I thought Jesse was cool. I liked him. Even when he started doing his UFO show, I was like, wow, that it must exist. If the governor's doing it, then there's got to be UFOs. Don't be thinking there ain't. Anyway, I think I think somebody here said he's trying to change things. Where is that at? At least he's trying to be the change he wants to see. Politicians love coming to the circuit for votes when they're desperate in Maryland. You will see the politicians show up. You will see the politicians show up, and then they'll hit the bike community, and then after they get voted in, you don't see them anymore. Somebody says we still want to see Black Demon for president, 2024. Who is Black Demon? Is that me? I am not a demon. I'm not a demon. Was he talking about me? We still want to see Black Demon for president in 2024. Wow. All righty then. Moving on. Black Demon. I think I'm going to change my name. That's because, okay, so he described himself as the only biker running for governor. That's because it's the only thing I ride, he said. Well, if you become governor, they got a limo for you and everything. He arrived at the Sun office on a 1956 Indian motorcycle with a slew of Lewis signs attached to the seat. To try to stuff yourself into a car now, it's like being a sardine. This guy's riding a 1956. Oh my God. I thought that was the new Indian. This is not a 1956 Indian. This is not a 1956 Indian. Is this a 1956 Indian? There's no way in hell this is a 1956 Indian. No. Hell no. This is a brand new Indian. You can tell by Indian did not have these covers here. And they were way flared out. This is not a 19. Boy, you guys had me going for a minute. I was like, get out of here. Well, maybe this is not the bike he showed up on, huh? 1956 Indian. This is a brand new Indian. But this rider needs to be. Let me go back and read that. He showed up on a 1956 Indian motorcycle. No, he didn't. Anyway, Lewis also has, well, if that's the motorcycle he showed up on, that ain't no damn night. Yeah, there it is. All his signs and everything. Lewis for governor. No, that's not no 1956 Indian. Stop it. Just stop it. I think it's like a 2022 Indian. A 2022. That's what that is. But anyway, I could be wrong. I don't know everything. Lewis also has another dilemma. When I win, I've got to find a state trooper who would be his assigned personal protection detail, willing to ride in the sidecar with me, he said, laughing. Oh, wow. Yeah, if you're not going to get in the limo, you're going to have a sidecar on that thing. This is Lewis' first foray into politics. The lifelong New Hampshire resident who grew up in Manchester and is currently retired following a long career as an electrical technician. People not following my constitution, Lewis said, explaining why he's running, because people aren't following his constitution, our constitution. They're not following the constitution that was made for us, is what they ain't doing. And he's going to do something about it. He said, and people not following my state laws, you've heard of the Constitution, right? When Sununu takes an oath to uphold the Constitution, you can't pick and choose which pieces of the Constitution I manage, is what he's trying to say. You want to uphold. Lewis lists fixing the State Department of Motor Vehicles as his top priority. He shared an envelope from Department of Transportation. They put return service requested, which is against my constitution, he said. I have the right to tell my post office where to transfer my mail when I go on vacation. Well, they won't transfer my titles, my license plates, or anything to do with the driver's license because they just won't do it. You got to love the DMV. You know, they won't do that. And he's going to fix that. I would just be hoping that there would be more on his list than that. If elected, Lewis also would work to legalize marijuana. Boy, this guy's all right. Hey, okay, guy. Everybody wants me to legalize pot since New Hampshire is a donut hole, he said. It's that thing in the middle doing nothing. Well, you got Maine, Vermont, and Massachusetts all around us, all got legalized. So since we're not legalized, I guess they're a donut hole. Other priorities for Lewis: fix the liquor commission stupidity, take the rats off the state payroll, and bring back Hippie Hill. Where the hell is Hippie Hill? It's dead now, Lewis said. That's because there's no more hippies. But anyway, it's dead now. Lewis said the popular spot near the intersection of Routes 4 and 104 in Danbury, up along the railroad tracks, there were a couple of picnic tables up there, and people used to just stop. We call that socializing. It wasn't just bikers. It was a lot of other people, too. I think it's slowly coming back now, but he's going to make sure Hippie Hill comes back. On the Liquor Commission, Lewis said, there are some stupid laws he believes can be replaced by common sense. Well, he could probably do that all over the state. Down at Weirs Beach, where I come from, they have a block party, he said. It's all blocked off, and you have to go in and show your ID to get into this certain block. You've got 4 or 5 bars, plus they set up bars on the street where the band is, so you can buy a beer and do stuff like that. So you'd walk into the bar, you buy a couple of drinks, you walk out with the drinks because you can do that. You can't walk back in with them because of the stupid liquor law. Another thing Lewis doesn't like, the live free or die state model. I've got to pay taxes. I have to pay for this and I've got to pay for that. Where's that live free stuff? He's right. This is not a live free state, live free or die. This is a pay taxes or die state. Unlike some, Lewis is not a lifelong Republican. I was an independent, he said. I like to take a little bit of these people and a little bit of those people and mix it up and get a good idea. I tend to get more Republican. I tend to go more Republican because Republicans are less on government, more on rights, less on government. Lewis admits he's a long shot, but he wants to get his message out to as many people as possible. You know, he might not be such a long shot. All you need is a little bit of social media and you can overtake these people that spend millions. I mean, it happens. We've seen it happen. I know a lot of people who said they've had trouble with government. I go to bike shops and car shops and they tell me different things. They're having trouble with this and that. Everybody's having trouble, but we need everybody to get together and say enough is enough. The primaries are September 13th and the general election is November 8th. For more on Lewis, go to J. Lewis, Jay, Lewis, Lewis on Facebook. Yeah. Why? I liked Jesse Ventura as governor. He wasn't my governor, but I thought he was cool. I think a biker would be straightforward. You wouldn't be getting no BS out of him. Well, you know, I think, have you guys seen Biker Guru on TikTok? He looks just like Biker Guru on TikTok. I think Biker Guru on TikTok would be somebody else you might want. But I go back and say again, this does not look like a 1956 Indian to me. But at least that reporter thought it was. Okay, folks, that's my day. Let's see here. Let me catch up. Wisconsin Representative Million Mile Guy on his Harley, knew him years ago. Million Mile Guy. With a name like Million Mile Guy, holy moly. That guy was the real damn deal. Million Mile Guy. Big Cell thinks he's a Million Mile Guy. Oh, he cracks me up. Like one of these days, I'm going to spank him so hard on his motorcycle just for talking crazy to me because I'm older than him. Let's see. He does, Aaron, and he isn't left or right wing states that many times. I'm not sure. He's not left or right. He states that many times. Is that what you're saying about the guy? Let's see. Are you talking about, we must be talking about Biker Guru. Is that who we're talking about? Let me catch up here. Or is that Jesse Ventura? That Jesse also has a great conspiracy show. I was saying that he was doing his UFO show for a minute and his conspiracy show. I watched it. I was sure watching it. So, hey, if you can get Black Dragon in front of a television, you're doing well. Jesse was a 1%er. He sure was. And he went to trial to testify on their behalf not long ago. So, goes to show you, you can be a 1%er and make it to governor. You know, I should run for governor. I've just been such a bad guy, though. They'd dig something out of my background, and it would just be, oh, well, I'm sorry. I have to bow out now. Oh, my goodness. But I still would want to be one. Jesse Ventura was also a Navy SEAL. I forgot that. He damn sure was. See what I mean? I forgot that, Brother Trevor. Yeah, 1%er, Navy SEAL, or maybe it was the other way around, governor, professional wrestler. I mean, come on, man. This guy did it. He did it. Jesse Ventura was an independent, as he is quoted to We the People. Was he an independent that actually won the governorship? Is that true? Okay, there we go. I'm sure we want to see who won yesterday's. That's for those of you who are listening, that's the news for the morning. Yeah, I can see a lot of people dropped off. Okay, let's see. We need to go to my email, which is well, you know when you can't remember your own email. Oh yeah, there it is. That's it. I remember now. Part of it is I'm trying to run all these boards and everything all at the same time. And I'm getting old. I mean, I know I'm getting old. Okay. Chris Sutton says, hey, I was wondering when I would receive my audiobook that I won. Today, I will do it right after this show. I owe a few of you guys books. Okay, so M. Davis, 203, said the designers of the Captain America bike were Cliff Voss and Ben Hardy. I'm Legend Eternal on YouTube. Okay, you won one, man. Derek totally misworded that. I think Derek got it right. Totally misworded about Hardy is that Hardy Sugar Bear worked at times with Cliff to make the bike until branching out full on his legendary Springer. Cliff, Sonny Bonds. Okay. All right. Yep. Derek Warrington. Yep. Oh my goodness. Chris Klein won one. We already have Derek Warrington. C. Ruger? Hold on, man. You can only win one book. You can only win one book. I see people coming back. You can only win one book, man. Okay. All right. So those are the people that won. Is there anyone else? Answer to no SSW. It was not LA Defiant ones. You're talking about yesterday's answer. Nope. That's in LA. We're talking about San Diego, which we said yesterday was the Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club. And all right. So that is the winners from yesterday's question. Okay, so I won't have a question for tomorrow because I need to give everybody books that I haven't given their books to them yet, and then I need to figure out how many books I have left. A couple guys have donated their books to Black Sabbath Prospects, so I need to dig through that and figure out who gets books, and then they gave me like 50 of these books to give away. So I got to figure out how many I've given away and make sure I haven't given away 50 yet. And then we'll start again tomorrow. All right. So now, if you remember, this weekend, we will be down in Florida at the Black Sabbath 4th anniversary down in Florida. Friday is the meet and greet at the Vikings Motorcycle Club, 3017 Martin Luther King Drive down in Pensacola, Florida. We'll be there from 10 o'clock till the sun comes up. All right. And then Saturday is the actual. So the way these things work, for those of you who might not know, is here in the South and most places in the country, especially on the black biker set. So I'm not quite sure how the white biker set does this. And although Black Sabbath is a mixed race club, because we started out as a black club, we'll always be known as a black biker club, even though we have whole chapters that ain't. But most people would think that we're a black biker club, and most of my experience has been on the black biker set. So the way the Black Biker Set does this, we normally have a dance or an annual celebration every year. It's normally on the birthday of our birth for the Black Sabbath. That's mid-February, sometime around Valentine's Day or the Valentine's Day weekend. It moves, but sometime around there, or the President's Day weekend. And this is about the time we were born. We got together in 1972, and we became an official motorcycle club in 74 when we got our clubhouse at 4280 Market Street. So we have what's known as the first run of the year over in that area, and it's on our birthday. And basically, you'll have Friday night is called the meet and greet, which is typically thought of as free in terms of a lot of times it's held at a place where people just come and meet and greet and hang out. And then Saturday night is the actual club dance, and that's where you pay to get in. And typically, back in the old days, you could hold that dance and make enough money to pay your rent and all that for your clubhouse for the next whole year. Now there are so many clubhouses that and so many clubs, doesn't really work like that so much. But back then, and today too, you showed support to the motorcycle club you cared about, to the clubs you frequented, to the people that you hung out with, by going to their annual dance at the very minimum, and to their bike nights to help support them. But you go to this dance, and typically, in order to show love to the people that would come to the dance, we would give out trophies for longest distance riding club, most represented club with the most people, longest distance riding rider to acknowledge independence. Like, we would have people sometimes like ride over from New Jersey to come hang out at our clubhouse for our annual, and you'd get the longest distance rider. And then when women started coming, and you'd get the longest distance male, the longest distance female. And then on the Black Biker Set, we have social clubs, which are women who actually wear vests and have their own club and presidents and all this stuff. And they are like support clubs to the motorcycle clubs. And, a bunch of women walking around in vests and stuff. They don't typically ride motorcycles, so they're not female motorcycle clubs, but they are female social clubs that support the Black Biker Set. I don't believe you have social clubs of women on the White Biker Set or other biker sets, but they are on the Black Biker Set. So after a while, we would have greatest number of social club, or the largest social club would get a trophy. Furthest distance traveled social club, furthest distance traveled motorcycle club, and then sometimes we'd have furthest distance traveled riding club, and they would get these trophies. And some of these trophies would be tall enough, bigger than people, just 7, 8, 9 feet tall. Sometimes you give out swords, all kinds of stuff. And so in black clubhouses, you might see hundreds or thousands. In our mother chapter, you might see thousands of trophies for the dozens and dozens of years, the scores of years that we've been going to parties. And you could tell who supported the most if you come home with the most, with the biggest motorcycle club trophy. That meant that you sent the most people over to the club to support that club for the year, and you could expect them to come back and support you. And this is how we build up the community. One of the reasons I'm so against having motorcycle stuff off the motorcycle club set. So when you go rent a TGIF or something, that money is not going to support a motorcycle clubhouse. It's going to support TGIF, and they don't give a damn about us. So I've never really been one to do a whole lot off the biker set. I like to support clubhouses. So then, in order to count all of the people that show up at these clubhouses, we have the count up in the Northeast, like Ohio and stuff like that, they call these dances cabarets. And we call them annuals. Some folks call them cabarets. Some people might call them field meets, especially if they hold them in a field. And then we have the parade or the count, where you wear your colors and you walk through and you get counted. In some places, like down in the South, it might be as casual as someone saying, okay, how many people you got? Okay, how many people you got? Okay, how many people you got? But in other places, this count is a big deal. I'm going to show you guys one tomorrow. I'm going to actually pull some up for you and show you guys the count tomorrow and how they work. And like if you're on the West Coast, the count is a big deal. One time when I made national president, I went to the California chapter and I was holding the count, and I was doing it like down in Atlanta sometimes, where we would just say, how many people did you bring? How many people do you rent? And not necessarily have the count. I tried that and I almost got mobbed. Like on the West Coast, and I had forgotten, I hadn't been on the West Coast in a while. The West Coast does the count. And it's amazing. It's done to music, and you walk one person at a time across the stage. Sometimes people, they have their dance, and the women be like, the social clubs, like the women be like, shaking it and stuff. I don't want to say twerking. I just want to say working it. They be doing and stuff, and it's delicious. It's a celebration of life, a celebration of, hey man, we survived another year as a motorcycle club, which is a big thing because most average motorcycle clubs only last 5 years, 3 years to 5 years, period. End of story. So if you've been around 50 years, 15 years, 8 years, man, you've really done something. So we're having our 4th year celebration. So in Pensacola. And for the way we do it in the Black Sabbath is every chapter has an annual dance somewhere around when they were born. And so we have these dances all year long at our various chapters around the nation. So if you're in our club, expect to spend a crap load of money riding to one after the other, after the other, after the other. I think pretty soon we might have to do regional ones because we got so many damn chapters now. But we'd like for you guys to come hang out with us and show us support at our 4th anniversary. That means that the Pensacola chapter has lasted 4 years, 1 year shy of like the average. The average is between 3 and 5. So they're like right in the middle of the average lifespan of an MC. And I've lost many chapters. I've lost many chapters when I was national doing this. I've started many chapters and lost chapters. They're hard to keep going because, people are so screwy out here in the world, right? So to have this one 4 years old, man, it is a blessing for us. And we'd like for you guys to come and celebrate with us, celebrate this blessing. So we'll be in Pensacola, our 4th anniversary. We want you guys to ride down. We want you guys to come hang out. The meet and greet, that's so the meet and greet is typically done on a Friday night. And what I want to tell you so typically we'll have a meet and greet on Friday. We'll have the actual dance on a Saturday evening, Saturday night. And then on Sunday, we would normally have a breakfast to see everyone off while you are on your way back home to wherever you rode to. So typically we like these things to go all weekend. It's a major party, and we do this all over the country. We just did Wichita, Kansas 2 weeks ago. And then we did Houston this summer, and then we did just all the chapters. And then in September will be the Atlanta chapter dance. That's our dance coming up in about 2 weeks or so, 2 or 2.5 weeks, something like that. And then the November annual dance will be down in our Macon chapter. And I think that's the last dance for the year. And then we start all over again the next year. So, if you wanted to hang out and you could do this, you could follow us all across the nation and party almost every 2 weeks. So imagine if you're the national president, you're going to spend 30 grand a year just going to the parties of the Black Sabbath. And ouch, that sucks, huh? So Friday night is the meet and greet, Vikings Motorcycle Club, 3017 Martin Luther King Drive from 10 p.m. until, and then Saturday night is the actual party from 9 p.m. until, at the Pensacola President's got a farm down there. We'll be on the farm. And then Sunday from 9 a.m. until the breakfast, the Sunday farewell breakfast. The host hotel is a Super 8 by Wyndham, Pensacola. Phone number there is 877-361-2508. It's at 8001 LaVille Way, Pensacola, Florida. The directions or the address to how to get to the party is in the description box in here. And I will also put it in the description box on the podcast for my listening audience. So we'd like for you guys to come hang out with us, man. Come hang out with us and party with us at the Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club. Oh, and I guess I was supposed to give away some, what was I supposed to give away? A couple tickets. Was that for the tickets yesterday? Did I screw that up? Okay, so those people that answered that, if you're in the area and you want to go, then you'll get the tickets. Other than that, you got the free book. How about that? Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So President Devil wants to remind you guys that if you're in the Maryland area, the third weekend in May is the annual dance for the Maryland area, for our Frederick, Maryland chapter. So, hey, man, it's cool. Yeah, Derek, I got you, bro. I wasn't talking about you. Although he did say you can only win once. I'll see what I can do. What happened? Did I do something? Lissa will let me know. So, Big C says, have bars, clubs support MC with dollars. They get promoted with things like calendar, the bike night, after church rides, hangouts, one source of dollars for the MC. I'm not quite sure what you're meaning. This has got a whole lot of have bars, clubs support MC with dollars. They get promoted with things like calendar, the bike night, after church rides, hang. Big C, you squeezed a lot in there, so I'm not understanding exactly what you were saying. Hit me with an email so I can explain. Sven said in 1998, we got a tombstone as a trophy for the longest ride to a party in northern Sweden. A tombstone? They gave you a tombstone? What the hell was that all? So, but I find that interesting. So, you have these kind of parties in Germany and stuff, and they give out riding trophies in northern Sweden. So that's just amazing to me how close the motorcycle set is and how it operates all over the country. The black set, the white set, Hispanic set, whatever. They're all very similar in the way that we get down. We're really tribal, and we all kind of follow the same basic set of protocols. I find that very interesting. So that's really, really, really cool, man. Really cool to see that. Let's see. Derek is donating a book. I'll read up on that. Okay, so we're over our time here, and I just wanted to explain that to you guys. Let me let you guys get out of here. I know you guys got work to do today. Listen, I'm just so grateful to have you all. Thank you so much for being in my life. We have to try to treat each other like individual pieces of solid gold, man. Still raising money for the puppy. We are. I think we're close. I'm going to turn over as much money as we have raised today. And I'm trying to get to the magic number for him. So let me see what we got, but we're still trying to raise money for the puppy so he can have his surgery. One thing I got to do, I got to get me my own show, thing for the show, Cash App for the show, because I was looking at my Cash App like, wow, I've got all this new money, and it wasn't mine. I was like, oh, hell no. So I'm going to get a show Cash App. But for right now, $Biker Prez is my Cash App that we're going to use. And I'm sending this money over to Frost today. Hope. And I think he needed something a little over $400 to get his dog fixed, get the surgery that his dog needs. So it's not a lot of money. Sent you a pic of it via WhatsApp. It's not a lot of money that he needs. Well, it's a lot of money depending on, how much money you have. So it's $1 million if you've got $210 and they say that you need they say that you need $400. Okay, so wow. So what we have here is the tombstone that Sven won. Here's the tombstone that Sven won. This is not I'm gonna have to, man, the look is not good. You can't even read the words. Yeah, not that you could read Swedish anyway, but it's there. So this tombstone looks cool. I'm going to try to show you guys a picture of it tomorrow. I'll bring it up on WhatsApp on the show. All right. So, and then my PayPal is jbunchii@aol.com. Is the PayPal. I'm just asking you guys for, it's only like $400, a little over $400. So I'm just asking you guys, give me 10, give me 20, so we can give it to this man and get this dog fixed and not hurting anymore. So, man, I appreciate you guys. Love you all. This is what we're doing to get some money to pay for Frost's dog, man. And we just really, really appreciate you all for everything you do. Thank you, K. Wayne. Appreciate you, man. Swedish language. Sorry. Yeah. I read Swedish. I think this middle finger is the same in every language, huh? All right. Oh, man. Here's my next question. And we're going to have this question for tomorrow, but I'm going to put it out today. What does this mean in Italian? And I don't know if it still means that, but this is something I learned when I was in Italy, just since we're just talking about sign language. What does this mean in Italian? I'm circling my finger in the air like this. Anyway. All right, man, I'm out. I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in and get steady. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
You are fake news.
Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can trust.